a 1v1 or 111 as Protoss. This is my other account, which I was randoming to see which race I wanted to kind of stick with, and I think I'm going to be going with Zerg, but I was playing Protoss at this point, randomed it, and I thought I'd cast this up here because I figured some people were still having some trouble with 111s based on just the sheer amount of 1v1s I see being executed by Terrans in like the platinum low diamond range. Seems like people are still using it, so it seems like something that they've found effective. So obviously people need to know how to counter it if they've been finding it effective and continuing to do so. So I've dropped my pylon close to my nexus because I don't like to drop it at the ramp in a PvT. And Shanzi, who's my opponent down here in the south, is walling up, it looks like, at the top of his ramp. And generally when you see a 1v1 they are going to be walling up, which Terran don't always necessarily do. So if you see them walling up for some reason, they're hiding their tech. And that lets you know that you need to continuously check and see what they have so you can appropriately be ready. Because you don't want to like expand and then a 111 hits and you don't have enough units, essentially. So it's always important when you see a wall-in by a Terran as a Protoss to be ready to throw units up that ramp to scout and do a lot of probing with stalkers and stuff like that to see their count of units. If you see only Marines, it's a really good sign a 111 is coming, or a Banshee situation. But you should have a Robo in either of those cases to be ready for either possibility. And as you see, there's no weird stuff up here going on. I haven't scouted yet. I did random, so I'm going to let him try and find where I am. So now he comes up, he sees that I'm Protoss. Be adjusting his strategy a little bit from there. So he was just going up the safe build because it could have been Zerg, another reason why he was walling. And we have a cybernetics core going down from me, probe scouting across the map, second pylon going down. Hopefully not supply blocking myself. Oh yeah, just in time to not supply block myself, go me. And then he is morphing into an orbital down here, finishing his wall in. Again, he already knew I was Protoss at this point, and he finishes his wall in, which gives me the clue he's hiding tech. And behind it he's dropping a factory, and that should be out of range for my sight. Let's see if I scoot up or if I'm just going to get shot. Nope. Looks like I'm just skirting around. SCV is thrown over here. It looks like it's going to be ready to scout any type of expansion going down from me, or be thrown into the base in a minute to get some good scouting. I'm sending that first Zealot down south, and then it's going to be followed up by a Stalker. See what I can poke in and deal damage with on the ramp there. The Zealot tanks the damage. The Stalker tries to pick off a Marine or two. And my probe is coming back across the map. It got beat up a little bit. Knows that 2 or 3 Marines are chilling up there. Robo Bay going down for me. I'm liking the 1 gate, 1 Robo situation most of the time these days now. Versus Terran, at least, as Protoss. And this is all high platinum, low diamond stuff. This was a new account, so I was still ranking up. And I think this guy might have been diamond. I don't remember. He's dropping a bunker, moving back his racks. Again, cause for a little bit of concern. And 1 Marine for 1 Zealot. Not exactly the most effective trade on my part, but I do see and scare him, which can be pretty good, because I get a lot of information. So because I see this bunker going up, it makes me think 111 again. Every time you see just Marines, think 111 or Banshee tech. Because Marauders are just so ridiculously good versus Protoss. If they're not building them, that's a sign. And I have an observer coming out because I really want to scout in there and see exactly what's going on. 2 more gateways going down, expansion going down. So, kind of ambitious by me. Raven's starting up there for him. See the bunker, see a Hellion. I know a factory's out, so that's some type of 3 racks building up behind this, something weird. And he's scouting around my base, he sees what's going on. I'm going to pick him off with this Stalker here in a second. More pylons going down. Observer is about halfway across the field, you see it there moving. Stalker's coming back home. And my macro is a little weak here, but, you know, moving on. We have my expansion nexus almost done. 3 Stalkers down in the middle of the field. We have a Banshee on its way, a Raven, a few Marines, a Hellion, and a Siege Tank now. So, shaping up to be 1-1-1. I do lose that Observer, but that lets me know that he has a Raven, which again, further enforcing 1-1-1. You see a Raven because it PDDs, point defense drones, which blocks the Stalker's shots, which lets the Raven live for longer, as well as keeping everything else alive longer. So what you want to do is you want to get a lot of Zeals and Sentries, because they are not affected by it. Double Forge is going down for me. I was preparing to start up upgrades. And more gateways going down for me. 5-gate Robo, off 2 base, pretty supportable and a little bit flexible, let you know what you want. And his 1-1-1 is shaping up pretty nicely. His Siege Tank, he does not have Siege Mode researched actually. So he's going to be going with just a push in, which actually isn't too bad. You can actually do a little bit of faster timing, but Siege Mode is definitely much better. Had he pushed right now, could have done a lot of damage. As it is, there's another Observer. I didn't really get to see much.
Base is under attack.
We have a Banshee harassing my pylons back here, which is kind of interesting. You're like, okay, you're trying multi-prong harass maybe. So I send just 3 Stalkers over there and keep the rest of my army over here. I also send my Observer over there in case the Banshee gets cloak and starts poking over there. But keep in mind you don't want to split your entire army. So I'm just leaving 1 or 2 units over there. And I think actually 1 Stalker fares pretty well against 1 Banshee. Might be an almost even trade. A little bit behind I think for the Stalker. It might take 2. But I'm building an Immortal and pumping out another Immortal because I know Siege Tanks are coming. Because 1v1. And here comes the army across the middle of the field. Pretty sizable army out of Shanzi over here. 3 Siege Tanks, Siege was almost done. 2 Banshees, without cloak though, and a Raven. Just a bunch of SCVs to repair everything. And here comes the big push. I'm going to warp in more and more. And let's see what we have as we go into the battle. 12-1-6 versus 1-2-3-4. Siege mode going up. Big siege. And here's the big engagement. PDD shooting down all of the Stalker shots, focusing as much as possible with the Immortals. They are shooting on the Siege Tanks in the back, and they're just tanking those shots so well. And I do clean up this push, and I believe GG will be coming in just a second as he is not expanding behind this. More Zeals being warped in. My 1-1 did finish. I was boosting that out the entire time after I put down those forges. So 1-1, Shanzi leads the game, and that was just a, you know, not the best example of holding a 1v1, but a lot of information that you can use to glean, like making sure you're protecting the back because Banshees can swoop in during a 1-1-1, and making sure you have enough Immortals to take the tanks. 2 to 3 is a pretty good ratio for Immortals to tanks because Zealots also do extremely well versus Siege Tanks. Force Fields also important, as well as Guardian Shield, etc. Upgrades. You can get 1-1 before or about the same time as a 1-1-1 hits you. So that's something to keep in mind. And he was a little slow on it. As you rank up higher and higher, I've definitely seen much more threatening 1-1-1s. But it's just something that from Bronze to Diamond, this is the type of 1-1-1 you'll see. A little bit slower, but a pretty good army mix and composition. Maybe sieging up a little bit sooner would have helped him out. But yeah, information you can use in the future. This is Lokazi casting for you. I'm going to be doing a series of videos today, I think. Just a bunch of little situations, common, I guess, cheeses or all-ins that are occurring a lot that have always been around, but I may not have a video up for. So here's one of them. This is Lokazi casting for you. Go ahead and subscribe, follow me, all that type of good stuff on that little follow me section you see down there. Just type those in. Much appreciated. Check out more videos, and University of Houston CSL, which I cast every Sunday.